Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to week 4, the final week of the Forest Friends panel sew along. I was going to say doll panel sew along, but we did do the tent in week 3. If you missed it, make sure you go back and join us for that video. There's lots of tips and tricks being shared. My name is Jennifer Long from Be So Inspired, and I am so happy to be here to be sharing all of this fun with you this November. So just a few things that the Forest Friends doll panel sew along is sew along that's happening on Wednesdays. We did a couple of the panels, but you can always go back and check out more. If you ever want to know information about the fabric collections, either past fabric collections, videos, and all the things, or future fabric collections, there's a wealth of knowledge. It just looks like one tiny tab on the Be So Inspired site. It's called Fabric Collections. But if you click on it, the fabric collections come up, and if you click on each fabric collection, it's just pages of wonderful stuff. There's blogs, there's accompanying printed patterns, there's the sew along information, there's free downloads, there's tutorials. So please take a couple of minutes and explore the fabric collections that you love, or that you can get your hands on some of the fabric, because we're here to sort of support and lift up our local quilt shops and lift up the industry through our creative sewing. So it's really a wealth of information, and it just looks like a tiny little tab until you click in it and it just opens up. So excellent. Okay, this is week 4, and today we are going to talk about, these videos are just meant not as like fully completely the PDFs downloads. They're just meant as the tips and tricks that happen as we go along and work through the weeks, to keep us motivated, to keep us going, and hopefully answer any questions that are coming up. So today is just finishing, and the trickiest part of finishing is the doll turning, how to stuff the doll, and finishing the doll. So that's what we're going to focus on today. But before we get started, I just want to give you a little nod to a couple of things that are also happening both now and in the new year. So all Forest Friends related, so it's still on topic. I can get off topic easily, but not today. So the first thing is the Fox Cub Quilt Along is happening right now. It's still going on. There's tons of times to catch up and join us to make this for the holiday season. It's just, it's called a crib quilt, but it could actually be just like a tiny lap quilt. You can add a bigger border and make it into a larger lap quilt if you want. And it's really fun to piece. So I hope you can visit us. That happens on Fridays here on the YouTube channel or the Facebook group. And then you can, again, sign up too. December is going to get a little bit quieter for sew-alongs because we are all busy finishing up these projects and working on all of the things that we want to get done for the holidays and baking and all the stuff. I'll still try and pop on a bit. But January 2023, we are running the sweater season quilt along. So this epic quilt that is using the knitted prints from the Forest Friends collection, we are going to be going, this is a wonderful row by row quilt. So it came in a box kit too, or it comes in a box kit too. So it's really great for holiday gift giving. Maybe you want to pick up one for yourself and one for a quilty friend, and then join me in the new year and we'll sew this together. So this quilt will be done in rows. It's going to be fun. It's going to be snowing outside or just cooler in the winter. So it's just a wonderful time to sort of make this sweater season quilt. And it actually uses all 4 colorways in the sweater season of those great knitted, let me see if I can grab some here. These great knitted Argyle prints. They look like they're knitted. Let me just get really close. But they are obviously quilting cotton. And so it's going to give this great texture. So you don't have to sew with this fabric to join the quilt along. The quilt along is free. You can use fabric from your stash if you want, or whatever. But if you want to grab yourself a box kit, or shops might be kitting this as well, then and if you are a shop, please let us know if you're kitting it so that we can share and bring information. Tons of time. So you have all of December to sort of gather up all the things. It doesn't start in the first week of January. It starts, if you go to the website, I didn't have my paper here, but I did have the yardages you need. So if you go to the website, you can get and you sign up for the quilt along, the sweater season quilt along, you'll get the yardage requirements like this so that you'll be able to get the yardages you need, or if you're changing them, you can just tape over them with the yardages that you need. And there's also the schedule. I think it's the second week in January it starts, so it gives you a little bit of time to breathe. So excellent. So that's our housekeeping stuff and all the fun to look forward to. And I can't wait to get started and give you and share with you today's tips and tricks. So let's get started. All right. So in week 2, we finished this doll, and then on week 3, we moved into the tent. So we are going to talk about how to finish this doll up now. So we've got the tail in here. We've got the ears inside here. We've sewn along the edge. Before you turn this doll over, I take my doll up to the window and I hold it up and I just make sure that my stitch line is number 1 inside the line that I've drawn, but then also that it's catching everything. And there was a spot, oh yes, on this hand that I didn't catch properly because I actually didn't draw all the way. So I just, when I caught that when I put it up to the window, and I went back and I just kind of fixed up. So you can fix it afterwards, but obviously it's so much easier to do, and just go and check around your seam. You've done so much work already that it's just sort of nice to just kind of go along the seams and just check to make sure that you've sewn inside the seam allowances. All right, clipping. So if you just turn your doll right now, you're going to have a whole bunch of puckering happening and all kinds of other things. So I'm going to start with the obvious spots first. That's the neck and the arms. I'm going to actually clip this right out of the neck like that. I've got my really sharp pointed scissors here because I want to get in as tight as I can without being, cutting my stitches at all. Okay, and then I want to do the hips too. So anywhere that is a corner, we're not going to be done right here, but I just want to do these corners first with these scissors. And then I'm going to tell you the other parts to do. Okay, if you kept your legs together from video 2, then you can cut them now. How easy is that? And then I'll clip inside with my sharp pointy scissors here. There, and the other one. Good. Now I'll just take my blunter scissors, and because I like to use these ones for the middle, and I can keep the straight parts without clipping, but anything that goes around, I'm just going to do really small clips, fairly close. I described this in my video week 2 that we did, that I'm using the inside of these scissors because I've done this a lot and I know how much pressure to put till I get close, but you can see that I'm not getting attached to my seam. The last thing you want to do is accidentally cut through here because there's some ways to repair it. You'll have to do some hand stitching and things. You'll lose a little bit, but if you can avoid that at all, just go nice and slowly. I'm going quick because just for time, and I want to keep you here, but I don't want to keep you here unentertained. So I am just going to do this fairly quickly all the way around and get to the part that I really want to show you, which is stuffing the head. Stuffing the head on a rag doll is really important. So some dolls, as you know, might have a soft body, but they have a hard head, like a plastic head, or sometimes there is even a wooden head on some dolls, rag dolls. So on our doll, there's lots of tips and tricks to getting the head to be shaped in a nice shape. And that starts with, sewing. That's also this that we're doing right now, this clipping. That's really, really important to get that round shape. The closer your clips are together, the easier your fabric will be to be able to push out into a circular shape. Okay, the arm is straight here. I'm almost there, friends. So, and then we just want to make sure that all all these little tips are being shared today because they really do make a difference. And I think I need to do this hip. This is where the tail is. You can see the tail is inserted here. So I'm just going to make sure, I'm going to go back to these scissors because it's a lot of layers. There's 4 layers of fabric there. And it's because it's a little bit thicker, I just wanted to use the tips of my scissors. I'm going to cut that extra off. Yeah, see, this is, so if this is too much for your fingers to push, I'm just going to do the top layers, and then I'm going to go to the other side and do the back layers. Good. Perfect. And that's done. Okay, excellent. Let's turn this box around. Let me shake off all those extra little pieces. Good. Should we sweep it on the floor? I think I'm going to put it in my garbage can today. Sometimes I sweep it on the floor and then worry about it a different day. Is anybody with me there? Okay. So I'm using these hemostats that I've used in video too as well. They clip together and they're just really great for turning, but you don't have to use this tool. You can use an eraser with a pencil with an eraser. You can use a knitting needle to turn it around. It's just really easy for me to get this started when I have a hemostat. And I do the arms and let go of that arm, and I do the other arm first. So I'm going to leave the body, the head and the body turning till the end. So leave the torso till the end. I'm going to do the skinny parts first, which is the legs and the arms. Then I'm going to do the leg that's further away from the opening. Next, oops, you know what? I didn't do around the feet. Good thing I checked. I mean, you can always, if you get to the point, we should mention, this is in real time, that if you get to the point and you turn this around and you find any errors, I did this foot. Well, that was strange. I must have been having too much fun talking. And you can always come back. You can always turn her outside in again and then fix what you needed to. Just once you turn her, it's not, done yet. It's not done until you've got her stuffed and sewn up, right? So there's lots of opportunities to check. Okay, so the arms and legs are all out. They look like this. And then I'm just going to go with the head next and bring the head into the torso. And I'm going to use my hands just to be a little more gentle. I don't want to rip with these. And we've got that stuffed tail here. So I want to be very aware of it. Here it's peeking out already. This is my favorite part of doll making because it's like the reward from everything. So here we go. We're going to turn her inside out. Or is this? This is my Todd Fox. So this is my boy. Okay, here we go. Oh, he's coming. There he is. All right. So he looks like that, which doesn't quite look like this yet, does it? No, don't worry. We're going to get him looking like this or like this right away. So what we're going to do is you can pull the legs out, the arms, but you're going to take that blunt edge, so an eraser, a point turner, something that's designed for that, and you're going to go starting on one corner and go all the way around and push till you can have the seam out. So you want to go around and keep pushing, pushing, pushing all around the seam into the arms. It's going to really help to when you're stuffing it. Okay, this other arm, the legs, and the other leg, and then the hips. Okay, looking more like fox-like now. I just want to show you the head. If you want to see the whole process, you can look at the video 4 in the Be a Superhero doll panel sew along, and I show you the entire process plus the ladder stitch that we're going to use over here. But because I also want to show you a little bit of tips and tricks for this sweater, that I am going to just do the head today. All right, so I'm going to take, this is just polyester fiber fill, and I'm going to take like lots of it. I actually have tons. And, but I'm going to take a little bit at a time, like maybe a handful at a time or even less. And I'm going to pull it apart. So it's kind of like separates. In the bag, it kind of gets, matted together. So I'm going to clip it in here, or I'm going to push it in little bit by little and press it into the head. We're going to start at the very top, and I'm going to use my hand so it doesn't keep bouncing back. And I'm going to really push into that seam. So this is why pushing that seam out was really helpful, because now if I've pushed into that seam, we've kind of got that there. It's not going to completely bounce back yet. It breathes a little bit, but we're going to keep pressing it in as we go. So then I take some more, and I'm going to do the same thing here, starting a little bit lower here. I'm going to go from here to there. So it's kind of like making a rainbow inside the doll's head. And I'm using my hand as a bit of resistance and pushing it in so it's staying there. You can see the shape is getting nice already. Open her up. Good. And I'm going to press some more in. Now, the one thing that I don't know how many dolls I've stuffed in my life and in my career, I'm thinking over 1,000. And the one thing that I never ceases to surprise me is the amount of stuffing that I use in the head of a modern ragdoll. It's always surprising because it looks like it's so much stuffing because it's opened up and it's got this air in it. But if you stuff your doll the way it's in the like this, and it's just got all this air in it, then it has nowhere to compress. Like, look how I can compress this. You want to stuff it so it fills all of that area in, compressed like this. So that's why we are doing little bits at a time and working our way, moving the stuffing in and doing the side of the face. So then I'm doing one side of the face. You can see it's almost getting lopsided looking. So don't just fill one side. I'm going to fill this one side, and now I'm going to go back and fill this side. I like to do the head stuffing especially. I can stuff like the tail and different things, and even the body sitting on the couch in the evening. But I like to stuff the head on my cutting table or on a table of some kind, because you have that like resistance to push against. My goodness, he's getting so cute. So there we go. I'm still doing the head. Is that amazing? Are you surprised how much stuffing I'm using? Oh, where did my hole go here? Okay, I need to get into the cheeks now for sure. So here I go. Okay, that's looking good. I'm going to keep pushing it into the edges and this way too. All right, and right now you can see it's a little bit square on the neck. As you stuff through the neck, and if you keep filling it up, see how there's like a little bit of a gather happening in here? So if you keep filling this in, it's going to stretch and pull this, like lengthen it a little bit, and you are going to get rid of that squareness, and you are going to make it have, this length, this nice shape in the jawline. You're creating a fox toy here, right? So it's going to take a little bit of shaping, but this is my favorite part, because this part is really when you can see your sewing come together. All right. Okay, and then I'll do a little bit more on the other side. So this is all still in the head. All of these balls, that bits of stuffing that I've been using is just for the head so far. You do not need to stuff the body as hard as the head, but you don't want a floppy head, right? So you're going to stuff the head really almost as hard as you can. Okay, I just need to work the stuffing a little bit here, and I'm going to shape this part. I'm using my top hand to kind of like help me with the stuffing. Good. Okay, we're getting there. And then you're going to stuff in through the neck. So like I said, if you want to see how I close this up and how I stuff the body but not so strong, then you can go to the Be a Superhero Sew Along panel video. That's week 4. All right, but I've been stuffing that for a little while, so I want to move on to these cute sweater vests. So the sweater vests are lined and they're sewn. So they're sewn by hand here. You can see the instructions and they're fully lined. You can use Velcro here at the back, but I use a tool. This is what I wanted to share with you, called like cam snaps they're called, or you can just use any kind of a snap button. And I like them because they are easy for little hands. So they're easy to open for little hands. It's great for fine motor skills, but it is also safe. So if you've ever tried to get one of these off, it's very hard. You need tools and you might even destroy your fabric. So I have this little kit and it has all these cute little buttons in it. So I try to match the color. And then all you need to do to use this is you measure where you want your button to be. You make sure that you have like one male and one female end, and you have to make sure that they come in on the right side so that they're being buttoned together here and not that they're going to be buttons like this way or this way closed, right? You want to have one on the bottom side and one on the top side. So I'm just going to pretend that I'm doing another one here. I'm going to put a hole right where I want the button to be. And this is super duper sharp, so be careful if you have children around you. And then I'm just going to use a color so you can really see it. I'm going to put the wrong side, so this is the wrong side, the flat end on the wrong side. And it's going to come through just like that. And then I will take, so they do have these tweezers in here in case for this exact reason you can't pull things out. I'm going to put that through like this. And then this tool, which I won't do now because I'll have a blue button in there, you put this part on the flat back and you can just squeeze. And then it will push that center piece down and it'll be stuck in there. So if you're new to snap buttons, I highly recommend them for children, and I do recommend them in a lot of my patterns, but you are welcome to replace that with Velcro or an age-appropriate button if, you know, the age is good. So as far as the scarves go, I was in a hurry for quilt markers to make these, so I didn't finish all the edges, which I actually don't mind because it's looking like so cute with a little bit of fraying, but I just turned them inside out. But you can add a little bit of fringe in here as you want, turn the edges over, knot the edges here, and you've got these adorable little scarves too. So I hope that was some good tips and tricks. Make sure you've downloaded the patterns, the PDF patterns. They are free download on the Be So Inspired Fabric Collection site. Thank you so much for being here and joining me in November for the Forest Friends panel sew along. I got it right. Yay. For the Forest panel sew along. It's been really enjoyable to share this time with you, to share our experiences, to share our creations, to really share our knowledge that has been built up, over really decades. So it's really precious and special and such a good time of year to do it together. So thank you so much for joining me here today. If you love this and you don't want it to end, I don't want it to end. I'd love to see you come over and just peek inside the Makers Club. So at Be So Inspired, we have over 150 patterns in our shop, by the way, too. So if you're looking for Christmas gift giving and all the things, there's 150 plus patterns of dolls, embroidery machine, and quilt patterns in the Be So Inspired shop. But we also have a monthly membership, cheap monthly membership that's called the Makers Club, and it delivers so much value, and I can't say enough good things about it. So I'd love for you to just come on over and check it out. It's completely, you can see everything that's there. You just can't download any of the files until you log in. So we're not trying to hide anything. It is just honest creativity. It's really fun. So I hope to see you over there too, possibly. And if not, maybe you'll join us for the sweater season quilt along. We talked about that just at the beginning of this video. And I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, and I'll see you again really soon. Bye. Thank you for being here.